Hello and welcome back to another RuneScape 3 update video where we're going to be going through, as always, this week's updates for the 5th of July 2021. It worries me how far through 2021 we already are, but I'm not going to cry on that too much now. First thing that's come out is a brand new Miniquest. If I go onto here and unhide Miniquests, we should be able to find once... Here we are, oh, there we go. No, I've lost it. Here it is, Fortunes, the Fortunes mini-quest. I don't actually have the requirement check because there's other mini-quests to do, but the Fortunes mini-quest is part of the 20th anniversary mini-quest series, and it's the third installment of the series. So that's come out, and it doesn't really require anything, but you do get yourself a medium experience lamp and Relomia's Wand cosmetic override, and I'm sure it's going to lead to something greater down the line. It's going to open up loads of lore and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of the first thing that's come out here. Now, the second thing that's come out is the Yak to the Light ends on the 11th of July, so that is in 6 days' time. So if you're wanting to get those cosmetics and other things that you can get from the Yak track, you know, now is your time to really crack on with that. Personally, I never really got too invested in the Yak track. It's, I don't know, for me, I feel, oh, I say that, I've unlocked a crystal bow or something. Yeah, I've not been very invested, as you can tell. It's just, I get to the point in it where I feel like the requirements become a bit too exclusive, a bit too grindy. I don't agree with the level that you should be able to do things like, for example here, like cooking 300 fish isn't a big deal, or fishing 300 fish, not a big deal, and of course 4 clue scrolls, but of course as you progress onwards, like, you know, earlier on the tasks weren't so good, but as you progress onwards, the requirements become quite a lot. I remember going for one of them before in the past, and literally all I would ever do when I came on RS would be just the Yak track thing. That was it, and I got so burnt out because I felt like I didn't have enough time to actually play the game properly, and of course these like exclusive time limited things, I don't know, it's kind of the same vibe I get from FIFA where they release a brand new card that's the best in slot and you've got to play for like 20 hours in a single week specifically going for that objective to get it. It's a very toxic way of designing a replayability feature. Not a big fan of it, but anyway, I'll digress. Now, that's actually all for the general game news. Now, going on to the patch notes, and I'm going to drag this over to my screen. Here we go. City of Sentiston. There's been improvements, so Smoke Cloud has been added to borrowed power. As well, there has been some fixes with the spells, so Smoke Cloud was overperforming for non-magic users. I had a lot of people telling me about how it seemed a bit overpowered. The debuff now has 40% effectiveness for non-magic style damage. So, if I just open up what Smoke Cloud does, just so I can, for those of you who are a bit unfamiliar with it, I can sort of just explain to you what the crack is really. Yeah, so Smoke Cloud lasts for 2 minutes and it increases the target's damage received from critical strikes for that 2 minutes, and also the damage cap against the target when landing critical strikes is increased. So prior to this, the critical strike damage was increased to 15%, but of course now if you're not using magic, it's just increased to 6%. Similarly, when you're using magic, it would cap at 112%, but now it's capped at 104.8%, which is a little bit better as well. The trimmed masterwork armor bleed set effect will no longer be reduced by the animate dead spell. And there's been a hotfix where, and I'm glad I didn't run into this one because it would have triggered me a lot, where it would prevent players from picking up the Blood Ward after killing the Blood Warden in the City of Sentiston. That would have really gotten to me, but yeah, it's been fixed now, so nothing to worry about. Furthermore, improvements on mobile, and by the way, I know a lot of people have, like, certainly the vibe I get is that people aren't particularly impressed with mobile. I think when you're porting a game as big as RuneScape onto mobile, like, they've done a fantastic job. I had to develop a very small game onto mobile, and it was the considerations that go into it are just phenomenal. The playtesting involved and the amount of bugs that you come up against is just mental. Certainly with a game that wasn't originally intended to be on mobile, getting it optimized for it is just well done to them, I think. And the improvements they're making as well every week there's mobile improvements. It's very well done, I think. But yeah, they've improved the wiki button on the chat message panel to help stop users from accidentally sending their wiki search to the chat channel. Oh man, that's funny. They've added the online status filter, which is good because I oftentimes when I'm on mobile I don't want to speak to people because typing it in like messages to people while I'm doing stuff on mobile, it's not very convenient. So I'm glad they've added that. They've moved the chat badge options into chat customization, accessed via the gameplay settings, prevented the action bar swap feature from interfering with the user's revolution setup on the mobile client, and increased the size of text on 2D cutscenes, and it will now also scale with the screen size. Fixes. So they fixed an issue with the common chat settings window when using the back or close button. Players can now reliably report offensive chat on mobile, which is a fantastic feature. I've actually had issues doing this before. Can't remember what I was reporting the guy for. He's being like, I think he was like racist or something. I was like, get gone, mate. But I couldn't report it properly. So I'm glad they've implemented that. There's been a fix on an issue where the Berthorpe prayer path was difficult to complete and if activated with 0 prayer points. Fixed an issue with one of Mami Rimba's dialogue lines at the player-owned farm. Fixed an issue which caused some mobile users to log in with a blank ribbon. Fixed an issue with chat boxes on mobile that could cause players to be kicked from the game. Fixed an issue where set frames per second was increased by 5 on mobile devices, and added the buy keys up button and the out of keys button prompts back onto the treasure hunter interface on iOS, because of course microtransactions are key, clearly. Legendary pet overrides, so entering a player-owned house with a legendary pet will no longer revert any visual overrides, which is great. Hotfix that players can no longer override legendary pets with other legendary pets. I thought that was quite an odd one, but yeah. Going on to the tutorial, there's been fixes within Davendale or Davendale. I'm pronouncing it Davendale, I could be completely wrong, but yeah, the Mayor of Davendale's voiceover now matches the text displayed when approaching the gates, and the text displayed during the smithing tutorial on Berthorpe Path is now clearer about what to do next. This is something I wanted to look into because it says dark mage hats. They've added blue and black dark mage hats and matching hoods. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have a look into that actually. So I actually think this relates back to one of the older Yak tracks that was on, where you could get the Supreme Dark Mage outfit cosmetic override, and I remember this one. The picture of it looked awesome. It looked really cool. Actually, let me go find one real quick. Here we go. So yeah, the image looks bloody brilliant actually in the concept art area, or like the thumbnail of it, but the it's so bad, man. It's awful. I mean, the rest of the outfit looks the same. It's just the hat, man. So I'm guessing what's happened is they've just added the hats to suit that, because otherwise it's pretty misleading. Engine changes, which is impressive, which were implemented 5 days ago now, which is improved graphic performance on mobile phones, reduced the minimum supported iOS version to 13, reduced client freezes and stuttering in busy areas, improved the consistency of the auto setup feature on mobile when selecting balanced graphical settings. They fixed the water reflections no longer rendering at low quality on mobile, adjusted tap offset handling for iOS devices, fixed some rare crashes on iOS devices, and you're now able to toggle depth of field even when draw distance settings are below high, fixed an issue with graphics settings detection on startup which could result in enabling depth of field on low draw distance, fixed a mobile client freeze that would occur after the player interacted with the Warforge caves. I never had that one actually, that's interesting, because I did a lot of the Warforge on mobile actually, so I'm surprised I didn't come into that one. Fixed a mobile client freeze that would occur during the escape part of the Desperate Measures quest, and fixed a shadow issue on Qualcomm devices. Okay. Other improvements. The magical poison effect of Emerald Bolts has been adjusted, so no longer poisons targets, now applies a single poison hit on activation, now deals 2 to 4% weapon damage. Damage now scales with poison modifiers, and the effect will now activate as expected, improved messaging when attempting to perform an erroneous action with a familiar special attack. Some fixes are the date of birth required interface is now presented properly and will no longer prevent players from logging out. Wizard Myrtle will no longer appear without a chat head when discussing Curse of the Blackstone with her at Mudskipper Point. The Challenge Maria achievement will no longer unlock every time you speak to her. Some of these just make me laugh, man. They're very funny. Slayer Masters are now able to assign Banshee tasks to players wearing the Mask of Mourning. Various locations now remember chosen Skybox overrides. This is the one I wanted to show you in-game, and it's why I loaded up Preparing Cash. What on earth? What's going on there? What's that about? I wonder. Yeah, so, this is one thing I wanted to look at. So, I set up the Eclipse here, intentionally, because apparently travelling to different areas will remember the different skyboxes you've got. And I want to just see what this is about. I'm also going to try closing the client and opening it to see if it's remembered or not. Because, I mean, at the moment, like, the Eclipse one is still open here. Now, if I change the Eclipse one to Dusk, for example. Yep. And then if I go back to Prith, let's see what happens. I'm not sure if I'm misinterpreting this one. It's one that I was quite excited for, but I'm worried that I've misinterpreted what it's about. And if I have, I'm going to be, yeah, it looks... Oh no, is that Eclipse? No, it's Dusk, that one, isn't it? Let me have a look into this. Okay, so it actually does say various locations, so not all locations. Maybe I'm doing something wrong with it. You know what, give me one more attempt at this. Let's have a look, because these two are, like, out of the way, like, whereas, for example, Lumbridge and Draenor both are in the same sort of plane, aren't they? Whereas Elf City and Luna are on their own sort of separate planes. Maybe that's something to do with it? We'll have a look very quick. Also, if you're questioning why my computer recently has been struggling with RuneScape, the performance has been going down. I do need to upgrade. It's just been... Like, I've been using it so much recently for work and stuff that it's just getting so just bogged down and stuff. But, right, we set this to midday, yeah? And then we're going to go to Draenor and see how it looks. Please be in midday. That would just be brilliant, wouldn't it? I'd like to be able to leave it in certain areas that the skybox you've got. 'Cause, I mean, Draenor already goes dark when you enter it anyway, so I feel like it should be something that's pretty simple to then implement further, but... Come on, load the map. This is where the game's just crashed. Bloody hell, man, this is taking some time. There we go. And we set this one to Throne. Probably my least favourite one. It's kind of ugly, that, but... Right, and then if we go back to Lumbridge... I'm sorry, I won't dwell on this much longer. Some of you are just tearing your eyes out at the moment. You're like, just stop, Ben. But no, I want to just see. No, okay, I got the wrong end of the stick. It's fine, learning process. I have no idea what they mean by that. Going onward then. So, rings and amulets will no longer be mistaken for combat auras when attempting to travel to Entrana. It's no longer possible to smuggle the Slayer Master Cape effect across multiple Slayer tasks. Fixed an issue with the user's custom ribbon layout being removed after a world hop or re-login, which resulted in the custom ribbon appearing blank. We also have the trading tutorial no longer gets stuck when attempting to buy items with a full backpack. Fix an issue where certain familiars' special attacks couldn't be used via the action bar. Oh my goodness, I've got hiccups coming now. It's starting, right. Upgrading from Silver to Gold Premier Club membership through the Marketplace will now give you correct in-game benefits, which is great. Sure, they've had a lot of complaints about that one. And the Dwarven Harvester, the Dwarven Hamster? Okay, the Dwarven Harvester will now only consume one charge when used with a Patch Bomb or the Farming Skill Cape perk. And that is everything. We're then on to the community, the final tab. As standard, we've got JMod live streams, so... got a JMod live stream on tomorrow actually at 4 PM, which is a general Q&A, and then we've got the Wednesday, the 7th of July, the JMods are going to be streaming themselves taking on God Wars Dungeon 1. And then of course Creative Corner, which is really cool. You see some cool stuff. So we've got this, we're playing Where's World Guardian this week, thanks to Zero, I'm not pronouncing that, it's gone from me. Action-packed City of Centerston artwork. You'll find quite a few familiar faces here, including Killerfishy with her player gallery winning Rex Matriarch, and Presleek struggling with some barrels. How many others can you spot? Can we spot York Sares in here? Of course we can't, because he's a beta boy and he's not involved in this stuff. That's fantastic. Great, and then some screenshots as well. I like the screenshots. I appreciate a good screenshot of like in-game stuff. it's like, it's cool to see how other people interpret the game and stuff, because I think the outfits that you wear and the skyboxes you use and the locations you take these pictures out, it gives like a different interpretation for how people see the game, and it's quite interesting to see. But yeah, that is everything. Sorry it went on a little bit. Now, for those of you wanting to see the new Miniquest stuff, of course, I do have some prereqs that I need to do before I can actually hop on with it, which is the flashback Miniquest, which needs the foreshadowing Miniquest. So I will do it in a separate video. I just don't want these videos to become like the artifact ones, you know, the archaeology guild ones, where I was just doing those every week, and it became more about doing that than the updates. So yeah, that's it for the update video. I hope you all enjoy. Sorry I've blabbed on for a little bit, but I like to go in depth a bit and read through everything and get as much out of it as I can. But yeah, I'm going to crack on and get this up for you guys, and I will see you all in the next one.